This is a review of the Camp Chef SmokePro DLX pellet grill and a comparison of that with my existing gas grill. I'll give the highlights of the grill, then there's a video of the unboxing and assembly, which I've added on to the end of this. This is my old gas grill, and I'm comparing it with the Camp Chef SmokePro DLX. My old grill has been great, with plenty of space, and after years of use, it's not as shiny as it used to be. And knowing that I was going to replace it very soon, I haven't been keeping it covered. But over the past 10 years, it's been great. I love cooking outdoors. I love cooking on the grill. My friends and family love it when I do it. Become sort of known for that. However, I more recently made a friend who was a large, has a large roaster smoker that he uses for catering. And since tasting his food, my food doesn't seem to compare, and I've wanted to add the element of smoke, but I didn't want to mess with a huge grill and spending all day outside tending it, etc. My friend mentioned that I ought to look into pellet grills, and so this review is comparing my SmokePro DLX with my existing gas grill. Both are in the same price range, or were when I bought the original grill about 10 years ago, and this one now. I've considered multiple brands and visited a number of stores in my area. I looked at a few brands, the more popular brands, but in talking to people, it seemed like a lot of them had dropped in terms of build quality over the past few years in shifting plants, etc. So that's not something you want to hear when you're considering a several $100 purchase. And since I'm on my 10th year with my existing grill, and have taken care of it up until now, I know I want something that's going to last. Based on my experience with Camp Chef equipment and their overall quality, I decided on a Camp Chef SmokePro DLX. Plus, they have a few features that really pushed me over the edge. I feel like you get more for your money with Camp Chef. And I'll also mention that I added the sear box to this unit. That's actually in a different review. However, as a spoiler, I'll just say that it performs very well, um, and does great. Now I'm evaluating the grill on five main points. The first is ease to assemble. Second is build quality. The third is ease to operate and cooking control. The fourth is food quality, just the end product. And the fifth is ease to clean up, which if you care about your grill, you need to do. So overall, the SmokePro DLX gets a 5 out of 5. I have to tell you, it's been incredible, and I've owned it for quite some time now. Easy to assemble, it's a 5. It's easy to assemble. I did it in about an hour. You'll see that a little bit later on. Build quality, it is solid. Feels solid. It's just solid. Um, in terms of ease to operate and cooking control, it's a 5. I can't imagine an easier smoking setup. Literally, I can forget to get started and get started very quickly, and it works great. Food quality is a 5. The food was delicious, came out great, even when I was in a hurry. And everyone who I've had over has raved about the food. Absolutely raved about it. Um, Ease to clean up. Again, there's some components about this that make it very easy to clean up. So I have to give it a 5. There's an easy ash cleanup. I think it's a special only to the Camp Chef. One of the reasons why I bought it, where you can just pull a lever and the ash drops out rather than having to mess around with it. It's fantastic. Um, I never thought getting a great smoked end product could be this easy. So I think Camp Chef has a real winner on their hands in terms of this pellet grill. My existing grill gets a 4.1. It's on the ease to assemble. It gets a 4. It had a number of gas connections which I had to check and recheck, and it took me quite a while to assemble. For build quality, it gets a 5. I mean, after 10 years, you have to give it a 5. It seemed thin to me at the time, but thinner metal material, but it is held up. Um, in terms of ease to operate and cooking control, and again, this is now relative because I have a new scale, so I'd give it a 4. It's a gas grill, so it's easy to start, um, but its heat just isn't as even as the Smoke Pro because it's got hot spots that I've learned to work around. Um, but I could talk about that a little bit later. I think I would have given the gas grill a 5 overall before this, but I've over time you find a better product, better category to fill that need, and it sort of reshuffles all what you know can be possible. From a food quality standpoint, I'd give it a 3.5. Sadly, because a lot of sentimental value there. But after tasting the Smoke Pro, I have to say, it's just not in the same league, really. And then ease to clean up, I'd give it a 4. The main difficulty with the gas has been cleaning out the gas components, the pipes that distribute the gas and oxygen, and trying to make sure that you get those get everything the way that it needs to be so it doesn't get blocked up and you don't end up with more hot spots or uneven heat. Um, and so I'd say that the Smoke Pro is obviously better. So I'd give it a 4. What makes the pellet grill a little bit better, or why I chose it. Let me use this. This is actually off of the Smoke Pro, and I thought it made it easy to describe why. So it's got a pellet hopper which holds the pellets, um, and then those pellets then drop in, and they've got an auger here, and you see that auger feeds those pellets into the cup, and that cup that's where the flame happens, and as that's happening, then the smoke and heat goes up into the area where you're cooking your food, and as that has grease and the grease drops off of your food, that then drains out through the grease catch. So it actually catches in a bucket that they provide, and it sort of drips out there, and you don't have to worry about a big mess because it's catching it there. I mean, it's obviously dripping in the pan that holds it has got some drippings on it, but really it makes a pretty good system out of the whole thing. Now, the main pieces that made the Smoke Pro really um, really good for me at least, I'll talk about a little bit. Number one, it has 2 smoke settings. And many brands only have one, and that was part of the features that make it you get more for your money that I was talking about. It has a low smoke setting, and then it has a high smoke setting. And my use of a thermometer, because I like to check everything. My low smoke setting was really about 180 degrees. Sat right there. The high smoke setting for me was really at about 215. Really sat right there. Um, and these are settings that are designed to produce a lot of smoke while keeping it at a consistent heat. Um, the next settings, those are all temperature settings, so they're not designed to produce as much smoke. They're designed to produce the right heat, but you still get a little bit of that smoky flavor, but it's not really trying to smoke it as much. It's more of a wood-fired flavor. Um, Another piece that was really important to me was the fan. So the Smoke Pro has a larger fan than others, a better fan. And what that does is it blows more oxygen in. So if you're used to a blower on a car or anything else, you know that you get more heat out of the same amount of fuel when you combine it with more oxygen, more energy. The other piece is that it actually rotates the air in the smoker, so it's actually more like a convection oven, which means fewer hot spots, which I really liked, and is one of the reasons why it sort of changes the general feel. Um, the maintenance side, it's an important piece for me. There's a simple lever where you can just dump it's the ash clean out feature where you can just pull a lever and the ash falls into that cup. That was huge for me. Also, for the pellet, I like to keep the pellets the same moisture content over time. So I drain my pellets after each use. So I fill the pellet hopper and then I drain it back into the bag of pellets. And so I can do that and just drain it right into there. Um, the auger motor also, I'll say, the auger that works those pellets into the cup, the burn cup, it is a stronger auger motor than most. And so what you'll see is that uh, it is providing a good amount of fuel mixed with the right amount of air through it. It just works very, very well. The system works really well. Okay, so if you've hung with me this far, I'm going to move on now to the unboxing and how we got from that the box to that yummy stuff back there. So overall, came in a very nice box, pretty sturdy and solid. Was a good product, and inside everything was packed nicely, good styrofoam, taped up nicely, shipped well. Didn't notice any dings or dents or any other problems with it. Opening it further, what I ended up noticing was it was a heavier construction than I had anticipated. It's really put together well. You'll find the legs inside. So the legs are packed inside. Has some literature in there, and it's fairly easy to get wood pellets. You can pick them up at the store where you bought it, or you can order them online. They have a mix. The wheels are fantastic, solid wheels. Nice rubber construction around them. The legs feel solid and they're good. I've had grills that have light grill components. These are not. These are really nice, solid gratings, solid, nice, shiny grill. You'll notice that one that's the top rung, and that one is chromed, whereas the base one is painted black. So it's got a very sturdy black paint on it. Doesn't scratch off, doesn't have any problems there. Really solid. I've used it a number of times and it's been great. All the metal parts, such as drip pan, etc., they're all packed in the oil. So you'll see there's oil in the bag there, and if you open that up, you'll have some excess oil. You'll need to sort of wipe that off and burn it off in your first use. Also, this is the piece that covers the burn cup, and that's also packed in oil. You'll want to make sure that gets burnt off before your first use in cooking it. It's oil on all the pieces. You may want to oil it again. If you don't, it gets such high temperature. You want to keep those covered. They're very, very solid, but they will rust if you don't have something and rub it into it and let it season well. I've started just leaving things on it to let it season. This right here is a picture. That's the thermometer on the left-hand side there, sticking up, and that's the burn cup. So that's where the pellet get dropped into, and the auger pushes it in there. That's the vent for the fan, and that allows you to, that's where the heat comes out for the smokestack. The hinges are very, very solid, and I've really been impressed with them. Some people may notice they're on the top, they're screwed on. For me, that's an advantage because it allows me to replace them if necessary. The burn cup in this unit is replaceable, so you can pull it out. It's a unit component that can fail on any pellet grill, but the advantage for the SmokePro is that if it begins to rust and wear, then you can actually replace it. Moving on to the hopper, the pellet hopper. If you look inside the pellet hopper, you can see the auger down there at the bottom. That's what moves the pellets forward. There's a protective area on top that keeps you from getting your fingers or other things in there when you're trying to push the pellets around. I found it useful keeping my fingers away from the auger. And moving on to the rest of this, you'll see that it comes with a a cup that you can use for catching drippings. I found that super helpful as well. It's just one of those things you're going to want. If you're not going to use the sear box like I have, then you can use this side tray, and that allows you to have someplace to put your items. It also comes with a really nice handle here. It's a chromed handle, and Also, on that handle, there's a shield which you install on the inside. It keeps the handle from getting hot. That's a regulation that all the manufacturers have to abide by now. So you just install that on the inside, and you screw it on the backside with a little bit of space, a little gap between the lid and the handle, and that'll allow you to keep that handle cool. Uh, the chimney, which comes out from the back of the smoker and heads up, feels solid. It's a good apparatus. I've seen it at work and works well. It's good at funneling the smoke. This right here is the cup that's used to catch um, all of the spent pellets. Because the pellets are compressed well and is a very strong fan, it means that you really don't fill that cup up all that much. It's advisable that you empty it before you begin grilling the next time, rather than trying to empty it after you grill, because everything can get hot. But even if you forgot and you've done a brisket or pork butt or something like that, you're not going to fill that thing up in my experience. It's very efficient with the pellets. This right here is the thermometer, and that's what you will insert. It's the probe. You insert that into your piece of meat, and that allows you to know the temperature inside your meat and the temperature outside when you select it off of the probe setting. The package also comes with a set of instructions with a nice diagram of the parts, has some numbers and even some recipes that you can try out. This actually concludes my review. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope it's been helpful, and hopefully you'll find yourself smoking up some delicious items here soon. Thanks.